We're here at Comic-Con 08. I'm with Josh Drescher, associate producer
Hey.
on Warhammer Online.
For some reason, he's not wearing a yellow shirt. This might not count.
Though, if you hold on a second, there's phone booths at this convention.
Ta-da! Where'd John go? Who is that banana-colored man?
Josh is going to talk a little bit about, hopefully, PvE today.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about Realm vs. Realm. And maybe the PvP.
We'll talk about everything.
All right, so let's start with PvE.
So first of all, we're inside of the only area of the entire Comic-Con where you can actually stand and talk. So we're in our cone of silence in front of the giant monitor of doom. So at any point something strange could happen here. I apologize in advance. I don't know who's controlling this machine. Obviously, Warhammer Online is all about RVR, the Realm versus Realm experience. Players, as part of thousands of players in an army, fighting against other players who are in another army for total control of the world. So it's not just PvP, it's RVR. But the entire game really is intended to be intertwined with a fully realized PvE experience as well. So if you're the kind of player that you're really hesitant to fight other people, or like my beautiful fiance Aubrey, you just don't like being mean to people, you can completely avoid the RVR side of things, and you can just play through the entire game, level 1 to 40, doing nothing but PvE. And there's a ton of PvE in the game. We've got quests, we've got public quests, we've got crafting, we've got our Tome of Knowledge, which allows you to unlock thousands and thousands of unique, weird things in the world. You die 100 times, we reward you with experience and a title. The person that dies a lot of times. We're trying to get something into the game for each of those different types of players. The clubs, hearts, aces, and spades. Or no, not aces, diamonds and spades. I'm clearly a gambler. So if you're into exploration, you're into acquisition, you're into accomplishment rather than fighting, there's a whole game for you. But honestly, it's all about the war. It's all about the RVR. It's all about fighting and killing people all the time, if you're like me. So my boss, Jeff Hickman, has been saying for months now that you can level through his game from level 1 to 40, never going on a quest. And I kept calling him a liar, because it didn't make sense to me. It seemed impossible. So he told me when we relaunched the beta a couple of weeks ago that I was forbidden to go on quests. I was forbidden to go to public quests. I was forbidden to craft. All I was allowed to do was RVR from beginning to end. And I told him, Jeff, it's going to be terrible. I'm going to get my head cut off. And I log into a scenario at level 1, my starting abilities, and I had a great time. I managed to level up twice during my first 2 scenarios. And then I just started playing through some of the open world RVR. And I got all the way up to level 12 in a couple of days doing nothing but RVR. And so it really is true. It's the game for you. It's your game, your way. You want to play PvE? We got PvE. You want to play RVR? Play RVR. You want to play the whole game, since we did bother to build all of it. Really, the right way to do it is to play both. And so as you move through the world, the RVR and the PvE is intertwined. Everything you're doing as a PvE player is contributing to the overall success of the war effort. And so what you're trying to do is support all the players that are fighting for world dominance through everything that you're doing. While you're questing, while you're crafting, while you're fighting people, while you're going through the RVR scenario, you're helping to build up the prestige of your capital city. You're helping to make it more vibrant, more alive, unlock new interesting things. And then those things can all be destroyed when the enemy breaks inside the city and burns it to the ground. Speaking of cities, and speaking of intertwining RVR and PvE, all of the highest level RVR and PvE content in the game is focused around the cities. So the RVR players actually need the PvE players to support them throughout the game, but then the PvE players actually need the RVR players to knock down the front gates of the capital city to unlock access to the highest level PvE content in the game. So once you're actually inside of our capital cities, they're full of huge raid level encounters, 3 or 4 in each city, dungeons underneath the city, and then obviously the ultimate encounter in the game is the King fight, where you're going to fight against the Emperor Karl Franz in the Imperial city of Altdorf, or you're going to fight against the Chaos Champion Charzanik in the giant Magus' tower in the inevitable city of Chaos. So again, no matter how you're playing the game, you're cooperating with other players, you're working towards a shared goal, and you're eventually going to burn a city to the ground. So that's Warhammer in a nutshell.
All right. Fantastic. Ken, I'm Chaos.
All right.
You're in order. I've come.
Yes.
We've made the final fight at the end.
Right.
Does it reset? We now begin, even and even?
Basically what happens is you've got 5 contiguous pieces of territory in the 4th tier of content in the game. And basically it starts with a neutral territory. So that within the Imperial Chaos pairing, that's actually the city of Prague, which basically sits right on the fringe of the chaotic invasion. So the northern portion of the city has been overrun by chaos. The southern portion of the city is still currently controlled by order, and you basically fight for control of that territory. Whoever takes it over first, that's the group that initially gets to move that battlefront up a notch into their enemy's territory. There are like 5 cameras here now. I feel like the president. It's a nuclear war. And so, so after a city is destroyed and it falls, you reset to that neutral territory. You do not reset completely. You don't reset the first 3 tiers of content. We really just sort of, if a capital city fight is the Super Bowl, we send you back to the start of the playoffs. We don't send you back to the start of the season.
Very good. Just in Josh, in my defense, they say the camera adds 10 pounds. There's about 20 cameras on us right now.
I'm weighing.
Just so everybody.
I'm very thin normally.
Clear on that. Well, yeah, at least. Maybe tell us a little bit about the Tome of Knowledge.
Okay.
Pretty exciting.
So, like I said earlier, we're trying to target different types of players with the game. So if you're the kind of player that's really interested in exploration, if you're the type of person where you log into a game and you see there's a person in front of you that wants to give you a quest, and you turn around and run in the opposite direction, this is what's for you. Our creative director, Paul Barnett, has a thing that he uses to judge certain games, which is basically from the point where you start, the further you can run in the opposite direction from where the game is trying to send you, the better the game probably is. So if you log into a game and it goes, run down the hallway, and you turn around and there's just fire behind you, that game might suck. But if you log in and it's trying to get you to go this way, and you can run this way, the game's really good. So that was one of the things that Paul brings to the game, is the sense that there always needs to be something in the opposite direction. The Tome of Knowledge really harnesses that. So if you're the kind of player that likes to explore every corner of the map, you don't min-max your way through the game, you don't go and have an Excel spreadsheet open on your laptop next to your main machine going, the fastest way to move through the experience progression of the game is this, and then you ignore 90% of what we've done. The Tome of Knowledge is for you. It's a complete compendium of everything that your character does throughout its lifespan in the game. Every quest that you go on, every player you kill, every monster you kill, everything you discover, every place that you visit, everything you do, every time you die, every time you kill someone, every time you do anything, it's tracked in the Tome of Knowledge. And it's not just tracked there, it's actually then fleshed out. So if you go on a quest, we don't just give you the story of the quest, we unlock the background of the world in the Tome of Knowledge. So if you're the kind of player that really doesn't just feel satisfied reading a paragraph of quest dialogue, you want to know why something's happening, the Tome of Knowledge gives you that. If you're the kind of player that wants to know, like, number crunchy stuff, everything you've done, the Tome of Knowledge gives you that. If you want the background of the Warhammer IP, the Tome of Knowledge gives you that. If you want to be rewarded for weird things that you're doing in the game, the Tome of Knowledge does that. Little secret, if you target your character 100 times, you get a title, I touch myself. And then it grants you some experience. Just weird things that you won't realize that you've done it, and then bing, thing pops up, you get sprinkled with experience, you get a weird title. And it's full of that type of stuff. You've died 100 times. Congratulations. You are the great dyer. And on and on and on. So the Tome of Knowledge is intended to bring joy to all of the parts of these games that are traditionally ponderous or worth ignoring. You can't ignore anything in our game because there's something for everyone.
Most games, they come in, you're level 1, 2, 3, 4, 20,
Yep.
but level 60 is the end game. At level 20, I don't feel like I can contribute to the game. But in Warhammer, you